Hey guys, the purpose of this video is to talk about the codebook and the data sets we've made available to you. So if you look in the Modules tab under Week 2 PHM 1110 Data Files, we've already reviewed the Supporting Materials section. Now you're going to see that there's a codebook and the data set in three different formats. So you've got a .dta, that's your Stata format. You've got a .rds, that's your R. And then you've got a CSV that you can use to import into other analytics software. If you prefer to use SPS, SAS, you can use the CSV, import it in, and go from there. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the codebook. So if you download the codebook, our codebook has been created for you in Excel. The first thing you're going to notice when you get to the codebook is that, let me open this up for you. The first thing you're going to notice in the codebook is that we have a series of worksheets down at the bottom. And I'm not sure if you can see this in this screen, so I'm trying to get this bigger for you. There we go. Let's do that so you can see it. You can see we have a various worksheets. We have an 1110 pre, an 1110 post, an MPH graduation, and created variables. So let's go through each very quickly. So if you go to the 1110 pre, you can see the way this table is organized, and all the tables actually are organized very similarly. So up at the top, we have the raw variable name. This is in column A. This is the variable name that comes out of the analytics software and the way it's assigned. This is the variable number, and then this is the question and the response options. So for example, we'll just scroll down a little bit to some of the other variables beyond these here. So if you want to look at the what is this variable number here? Q14, I believe it is. Q34, excuse me. If you want to look at Q34.3 pre, Q34 pre tells you that's the pre-survey item for Q34. That's your variable name. This was the question that was being asked, and these were the response options, ranging from 1 to 6. And you can do that, and you can look at it for the pre-survey. The post-survey is set out exactly the same, and the MPH survey as well. So all of your code books are laid out exactly the same. Let's look at the created variables. The created variables, these are variables that I had my statistician create for us when we analyzed these data. After October the 13th, I'll share with you our analysis and what we have done with these data, but I don't want to share that with you until after you complete this assignment. But when we analyze these data, we created a lot of variables, and the variables we created, we've shared with you, and these are available to you in the data sets. So you'll notice this is our created variable name. These are the variables that we merged or modified in some way to create these variables. And then these are the original values and the created values so that you can see how everything is laid out. Let's come down here because this gets really helpful to you. So for the API, for example, API principles, we went ahead and already created your sum scores. When I create sum scores, I like to keep them within the same scale as they were originally at. So I use average sum scores. So you'll see here I use the average command of the variables that were used. So in this situation, you can see Q23, 1, 4, 5, and 3 were used to create orientation to learning pre-post. And I like to create those sum scores because it's easier for interpretation because it's still put on the 1 to 5 scale. So that's just my preference rather than creating a raw sum score where you then have to wait out your numbers to figure out it's easier to interpret. Leave it at that. I like to do it that way. It makes it easier to interpret. So that's how all these are created. So there's your API principal subscales, there's your API design principal subscales, and then when you come down here for the self-efficacy items, we've got the learning outcomes for self-efficacy, pre and post, This is each item. These are the original variable names. And then you come down and we created scales as well. So hope that is useful for you. If you have any questions, do let us know.